What is up, and thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of the Horror Debate. I am Jeff Rowdy J. here, and alongside me, as always, Mr. Michael Mandy.
And this week, we're going to be debating Bad Dreams from 1988, directed by Andrew Fleming, starring a guy that you probably would recognize if you watch as many bad horror movies as we do. His name is Richard Lynch.
Didn't I look at the cover, right?
Yep.
But we were just about to start watching this thing, and I said, oh my God, this guy's never been in a good movie. There's no way I'm going to dig this,
But
right?
the thing is, he's been in lots of movies. I mean,
But none of them were any good.
Well,
Would you pick one? Halloween.
yeah,
He was the principal
and-
in Halloween. That's
Yeah.
the only film that turned out any good that he ever was in.
Well, he's also done a lot of TV, and I mean, he's been in so many movies.
But every time I see him, I'm watching some B-rated thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's some B-grade movie, you know?
He's in stuff like, Scanner Cop or something,
Scanner, is that where the cop's head blows up?
I don't know.
That
'cause
would
I
be
didn't
cool.
see it. Or Trancers. Remember that movie?
Trancers, yeah.
I mean, he's a cool guy and all, but he picks B movies and I don't know.
Right. Well, what are we talking here, Mike?
We're talking. This movie is about back in 13 years ago. In 1988, 13 years ago, there was this cult.
Which would be what? Like
75.
75?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was this cult that Richard Lynch was the head of, and he persuaded all of his followers to douse themselves in gasoline and light themselves on fire and blow up their house to prove their love for each other. I don't know, one of them weird cult things that people do. I don't
Worst
know.
fake hair ever.
Well, they were trying to look
in a
like
movie.
Well, it took place in the late 80s when hair was a lot shorter, and so
Dude
they put
turned
bad
his
wigs on.
head, and his hair did not move. His hair stayed straight while his head rotated, dude.
But anyways, the house...
Bad.
They burned the house down, and she is the only survivor of the house.
She being Jennifer Rubin.
Right. She
Right.
13 years, she was in a coma for 13 years and wakes up, and she's in a mental hospital.
I was in a coma for 84 minutes watching this thing, Mike. What's going on here?
But, so anyway, she's in
Bad acting.
She's in this mental...
Bad writing. Bad directing. What is going on here, Mike? You know what? We always said. Let me cut right to the chase on this one. I'm not waiting, okay? We always said that you should have an opinion one way or another. It's better to have an opinion, whether it's really, really good or it's really, really bad, than to sit there and go, blah.
Yeah, a movie should never be boring.
Right.
That's the fault of the director.
This movie was boring.
Oh, there were some interesting scenes in the middle.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. There were like scenes here for 3 seconds, a scene here for 2 seconds, a scene here for, I don't know, a split second. But most of it made you just not care.
Well, you care enough to not even let me finish doing
And
the
kind
plot.
of grin at it and go, what?
So anyway, she's in this mental hospital, but the leader, she keeps seeing Richard Lynch in these weird dreams, and he's all burned and nasty, and he starts killing her 4 or 5 group friend people or whatever. So, there's some, every time someone walks away, all of a sudden, there you see him smiling as someone gets into the elevator.
Yeah,
and
but
then
it was the worst Freddy Krueger imitation in the history of the earth. It was terrible.
1988, so this was...
Right around Freddy time.
the Freddy time.
And what do you know?
But at least the thing
Jennifer Rubin was even in a Freddy movie.
Yeah, but Richard Lynch admitted he doesn't kill the people. They have to take themselves out.
How coincidental is that? That
Although they find accidents,
Jennifer Rubin is in the Dream Warriors, right? Mm-hmm. And this movie kind of reminds you a little bit, it certainly did me, of the Freddy vibe. With the burned guy showing up talking to her. Skin hanging off his earlobe, Yeah, trying to give you some cheap scare that they tried 38 and a half times throughout the course of 84 minutes. I don't know, Mike. It didn't do it for me. Never was scared once.
No, I wasn't scared, but there was, for 88, I mean, they showed a lot of blood.
They showed a little bit of blood.
And you winced a little bit when the guy who liked to cut himself stuck the knife and whacked his palm right down on that knife.
I love that guy. That guy was the guy from Summer School with Mark Harmon. Okay, he was the guy who loved the horror movies along with the other guy. I mean, these are nondescript people. What am I going to say, right? Mm-hmm. He was funny as hell in Summer School. I loved him, and as soon as I saw him in this one, I said, That's the dude from summer school who loved the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? So anyway, yes, and that scene was very good. I mean, it came at a time in the movie where everything was kind of lulled, so it made it seem, now again, good dynamics, okay? Because we were in a lull, and it made it all of a sudden just pop. He slams his hand down on this knife, impales his hand with this knife, and you're like, wow, that's pretty intense.
His name is Dean Cameron.
Well, good for him. But what I mean is that again, the director may have kind of lost me throughout the movie, but it caught my attention, certainly that scene, and also the scene where he lifts his shirt kind of out of the blue and
you
says,
see all the scars.
Yeah, when there's a problem, I just kind of make a little hole and let it out, and he has all these little holes up and down his gut. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
It was a different kind of thing. That was pretty cool.
Like I said, when they were introducing all the main characters, I mean, they're taking place in a mental hospital, but I mean, it's kind of hard to get some good, a good scary feeling and vibe when everyone's wearing white coats and there's neon everywhere. But they did do pretty good when she looked up in the air conditioning unit and she saw Richard Lynch all fired out looking down at her. The way the light kind of moved on him. I mean, that was a pretty creepy scene, seeing him looking down at her.
Yeah, but, it's still
And
Lynch.
then all the blood came spewing down all over
Well, that was a
everybody.
whole different thing, and I kind of dug that, with the people that got caught up in the fan upstairs, I was kind of digging that. I mean, I'll tell you this, okay? If you're bored and you got nothing else to do.
This would be an ideal second film at a drive-in.
Yes.
It's at 11:30 at night. You can stay if you want, or you can go home if you want.
Because if it's 11:30 at night and I got to watch this, dude, I'm not making it 84 minutes. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not making it, okay? It bored me, okay? Now, I got to say, Jennifer Rubin's kind of cute. Okay, she's all right, I mean, I got to watch her in some other things. This movie, she wasn't all made up and everything. She was kind of, non-made up, I should say, because she was a patient in the mental hospital, right? But, I see some potential there, Mike.
They rated this R, but basically probably just because of all the blood.
There was there was a substantial amount of blood now that I think about it, especially because of the fan scene, the hand scene, the scalpel scene. There was a substantial amount of blood.
There was some good violence for 88.
But it was too few and far.
Yes.
That's
where.
Everything was too few and far in this movie. It's unfortunate because they had a halfway decent idea here. You know what I mean? And
a halfway decent actor to play the bad guy.
There was some bad acting in this film, Mike.
Yeah, but he wasn't so bad. I mean, it was
What good movie has he ever been in besides Halloween, Mike?
And he was in Halloween probably just because he's been in so many other films.
He's a creepy-looking mother, I'll tell you that.
Well, that's probably why Rob Zombie was casting and said, we got to get him.
Yeah.
Just because he's been in 84 other bad movies I've seen.
Did you see the texture of that guy's skin? I mean, that's the worst case of acne I've ever seen. He looked like he got burned before he ever got burned.
No, it wasn't acne. It looked like saran wrap on his face, and then they pushed it together. He had some weird skin.
Shut up.
And we're watching this on a high-definition TV,
Which made it worse. I don't want to see him in 70 inches. Oh, my goodness. Well,
but I mean, seriously, kind of like with Jack Palance, the strangeness of the face adds to the creepiness and makes him kind of a cool bad guy.
Yeah. Richard, so we got some good points. The good points are there is quite a bit of blood. Jennifer Rubin's a good-looking chick.
Richard Lynch
is I'll give him the fact that he's been around this long and been in enough bad movies.
Oh, you got to admit, when the movie first started and you knew nothing, just the way he was standing and he looked, you said, he's got to be a cult leader. Just because of the way he was acting, you knew it.
Yeah, either that or a door-to-door salesman or something.
I mean, you knew he wasn't going to be a construction worker.
Yeah, no. Well, look at the body type on the guy. He's not going to be a construction worker.
No, but you see my point.
I know. I see what you're saying.
He was very well cast in this movie.
Yeah, perfect creep-out kind of dude for the Jim Jones type character. Yeah, I can get with that. Again, though. Can't get past the boredom, Mike, and I did not have a short attention span tonight. I was giving this movie a chance to get going. It was like trying to start the lawnmower with no gas. And then finally things started to kick along a little bit, but then they plummeted right back down again. Too many valleys, not enough hills. I'm giving it 2 stars.
Yeah, it's definitely. I would give it a strong 2 stars.
I'm giving it a weak 2 stars.
It's not a 3-star film by any means, but there's a little bit in here that is worth watching if you're bored enough.
Yeah, well, you're going to be bored watching the thing. That's my point. I mean, if you're that... You'll fall asleep during this thing, seriously. Until you get to the part where the hand job happens. When that happens, then things start to move along a little bit. But it was just kind of corny, overall. And we're not talking like '88 corny. We're talking like even like I don't know, like late '70s corny in certain instances in this movie. It was pretty bad.
It's a hit or miss film. I mean, it's got a few things in it.
It was a hit, miss, hit, miss, hit film. That's what it
wasn't even really a
good.
good strong hit. It's a double.
Yeah, I'm just kind of blah about the whole thing. I don't have a lot of like strong opinion except for the fact that I was just kind of like,
okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, whatever. So
right.
2 stars.
Yeah, it's a 2-star movie. All right, I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff, and we will talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.